Hello and welcome to the session on growth of universities. The university is the institution charged by society to be the guardian of its intellectual culture. It is an institution of higher education and research which grants academic degrees in a variety of subjects. The word university is derived from the Latin word universitas magistrorum et scholarium, roughly means community of teachers and scholars. In Latin, the word universitas was used to describe specialized associations of students and teachers, and later was used to describe degree granting institutions of learning in Western Europe. With the competitiveness of firms in an open and integrated world environment, increasingly reliant on technological capability, universities are being asked to take on a growing role in stimulating economic growth. Universities confer a wide range of significant benefits relating to quality of life, healthiness, employment and income, economic productivity, civic participation, and reliance on government support. A university provides a regional economy with more than college graduates, research and development assets, technical assistance, and an infusion of money into the local regional economy. Beyond imparting education, they are now viewed as source of industrially valuable technical skills, innovations, and entrepreneurship. Developed and developing countries alike have made a priority to realize this potential of universities to spur growth, a strategy that calls for coordinated policy actions. Educated persons were and are considered to be capable of making things that are beneficial to society. The system of higher education bears an important responsibility for ensuring that our workforce is prepared for the demands of economic change. Universities have an important role to play in international development. Universities can contribute through teaching, research, and knowledge generation and exchange. There is also a major role for universities in researching and evaluating the impact of development work carried out by a range of organizations. Universities can improve development programs by evaluating approaches that are effective and identifying approaches that are not. Universities can provide space to discuss and address issues in a different way from government and non-government organizations. Universities can be innovative and experimental as they are perceived as being able to take more risk than development organizations. History of universities. Universities have developed a unique culture based on a long and quite unusual history. For the question, from where did universities come? Most of the answer would be Plato's Academy and Aristotle's Lyceum. Universities came into being from the 13th century onwards, at roughly the same time as Aristotle was re-entering European consciousness by way of Muslim Spain. Bologna, Paris, and Oxford are usually mentioned as the first prototype universities. Early universities, developed according to British models, functioned as finishing schools for gentlemen, serving only men from the elite social class and preparing them for leadership roles in a very conservative and structured society. The concept of liberal arts goes back to the time of the Greek intellectuals depicted in Raphael's paintings, and it refers to a type of education deemed to be suitable for a free citizen. There were 9 topics that were considered important for study: grammar, logic, rhetoric, geometry, arithmetic, astronomy, music, medicine, and architecture. But by the early 5th century, Martinus Capella, a contemporary of Saint Augustine and a fellow North African, reduced the list to 7 by removing the professional disciplines of medicine and architecture. The distinction between the liberal arts and the professional disciplines became a part of way in which the early universities positioned themselves. Medicine and law in particular became very popular topics of study in the Middle Ages. In the early 19th century, England only had two universities, the same two which had been there since the 13th century, namely Oxford and Cambridge. Oxford took on perhaps 200 odd students a year, that too, only Anglicans, and concentrated on the classics. There was no entrance requirement and peers could get a degree without examination. For an industrializing society, this kind of education was bound to prove insufficient. The efforts of the last Prince Bishop of Durham in 1832 led to the passage through Parliament which brought a change. On June 1, 1837, a royal charter was issued confirming the constitution of the university. One of the objectives of Durham was to establish in the north of England an institution which should secure to its inhabitants the advantage of a sound yet not expensive academical education. Thus, Durham arose as a collegiate university on the Oxbridge model, closely tied to the church as an institution and theology as a subject. When the College of Physical Sciences was established in 1871, the Dean of Durham and Warden of Durham University, with which the successor of the original medical school was by that time affiliated, reported as its purpose to provide advanced scientific education in the four northern countries and the north region, and especially to teach science as applied to English, mining, agriculture and manufacture. The University of Newcastle grew as a civic university, as did university in other industrial towns. There are two other developments in higher education during the 19th century. The university was not just as a college for training the clergy, doctors and lawyers, but as a place where research is a primary activity. With that came the identification of specific disciplines way beyond the idea of 7 liberal arts and the idea of specialization as a natural path for academics to pursue. The second development that deserves mention is the classic defense of a liberal education by John Henry Newman in a series of lectures given in Dublin in 1852. Newman was concerned about two things. The first was that in some of the new universities, the study of theology was excluded on the principle, and he argued forcefully that Christianity should be the basis of all education. His second point was that knowledge is an end in itself, and that the purpose of a university education is not to be immediately useful but to bear its fruits throughout life. The expansion in the university system since the Second World War has been dramatic. After the war, college education was becoming more valuable, and with the growth of the national population, state leaders across the country were compelled to address the reality that their population centers needed but often lacked a public university. The Second World War experience proved the value of science and technology to economic development and formed the basis for post-war industrialization. Universities were also used to retrain ex-servicemen and women for civilian jobs. At the same time, higher education became seen as a prerequisite for an increasing range of professions. The rigid social class system broke down, and in the good economic times of the 1950s and 1960s, more people wanted to access a university education as a means of social and vocational advancement. From 1950s to 1975, more universities were built and a system of colleges of advanced education was established to provide ever-increasing higher education opportunities to an increasingly diverse cross-section of society. Where once universities provided what was referred to as a general liberal education and were involved in training in only the more elite vocations such as medicine and law, universities now prepare graduates for work in a wide variety of vocations, from business, teaching and nursing to tourism, hospitality and journalism. Today, during the transition to a knowledge based economy, universities are expected to deal with an extraordinary number of issues and agendas. Types of universities. Generally, universities are larger and offer more major and degree options than colleges. There are different types of universities. Some of them are state university. Universities set up or recognized by an act of the state legislature are known as state universities. State governments are responsible for establishment of state universities and provide planned grants for their development and non-planned grants for their maintenance. The UGC makes budgetary plan allocation for the state universities. Example of state university includes the Chicago State University. Most public universities are state institutions. Federally supported universities are mainly associated with the armed forces. For instance, the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. For the most part, there are so-called state boards of higher education which provide state universities with funds and supervise their programs. National University. National University is generally a university created or run by a national state but at the same time represents a state autonomic institution which functions as a completely independent body inside of the same state. Some national universities are closely associated with national culture or political aspiration, for instance, the National University of Ireland. Deemed university. Institutions of higher learning which are not universities are often in recognition of their high caliber of education granted the status of university. Such institutions are known as deemed to be university or deemed university. The status of a deemed university is accorded by the UGC. Deemed university status enables not just full autonomy in setting coursework and syllabus of those institutes and research centers but also allows it to set its own guidelines for the admissions, fees and instruction of the students. Private university. A private university is an institution of higher learning established through a state or central act by a sponsoring body such as a society registered under the Societies Registration Act 1860 or any other corresponding law for the time being in force in a state or a public trust or a company registered under Section 25 of the Companies Act 1956. For an institution to be given the status of a private university, the state legislature conferring the status has to pass an act by which the institution will receive the status of a university. Private universities have to be recognized by the UGC so that the degrees awarded by them have to be of any value. The Birla Institute of Technology and Science at Philani in Rajasthan, which is funded and run by the Birla Group Trust, became an officially recognized university in 1964. Many of the best known American universities are private, for instance Harvard University, the Massachusetts Universities of Technology and Stanford University. Research University. Some institutions are predominantly occupied with research and therefore classified as research universities. The goal of these institutions is maintaining a strong system of academic, research and education. Intergovernmental University. Universities created by bilateral or multilateral treaty between states are intergovernmental. The Academy of European Law, which provides training in European laws to lawyers, judges, barristers, in-house counsel and academies is one such example. Universities and economic development. Education levels were the single biggest driver of economic growth, but high school degrees are not enough. Having college graduates will only prove highly significant to economic growth. Beyond supplying college graduates, a university can be a significant factor in a local economy. A better paying job, an increase in average income, a higher standard of living, an increase in the wealth of an area, this is the language of economic development. As the economy grows, tax revenues grow and provide resources to fund the public services demanded by citizens. Universities have long been viewed as important to economic development. In the early years of 21st century, however, universities are seen as more than important. They are viewed as critical to economic development. Universities make major contributions to economic development by supplying college graduates. In the earlier days, when the role of universities in the national economy was discussed, universities were credited with providing opportunities for citizens to develop themselves and advance economically. But universities were not perceived as pivotal, as keys to the economic success of a region or of the nation. In the recent years, there has been increasing recognition of the importance of higher education to social and economic development in developing countries. Higher education institutions have responsibility for equipping individuals with the knowledge and skills required for key positions in government, business, industry, and professions. They produce new knowledge through research and can transfer, adapt, and disseminate knowledge as well as being important institution of civil society. Universities in some countries, including the UK, have established themselves as key institutions of economic and social development. In the current economic crisis, for example, UK universities have been called upon to help struggling UK businesses. Many universities in developing countries, however, have struggled to make the case for increased investment in higher education and for the relevance to economic development. Today, it is striking to see how often national leaders view higher education in a global perspective and define the role of universities as a key to economic competitiveness. Today, universities across the nation are repeatedly challenged to strengthen the nation's hand in the global marketplace. When universities meet this challenge from national leaders, they simultaneously elevate their communities and their states because today the community, state, national and global economies are extensively interwoven. At the US Department of Commerce and the Economic Development Administration, it is believed that universities have a critical role in the securing America's future innovation, economic competitiveness and prosperity in a global economy. Universities have also been one of the most valuable assets for urban communities in advancing education, health and social service need of urban residents. Universities have critical roles as sources of intellectual property and talent in regional development and high technology industries. University faculty also had their roles in development of the economy. They contribute to economic development by providing not only graduates but also expertise and various forms of direct assistance that strengthen the K-12 schools, maintain safe and healthy communities, improve the performance of government agencies, and foster a vibrant arts community. Leaders on and off campus need to recognize and acknowledge this broad, holistic contribution the academic community makes to economic development. With the growing importance of knowledge-based industry, policy makers in the private and public sectors have realized the importance of universities in regional economic development also. Another important phenomena is the university-industry relationship. The United States has taken an active role in developing and fostering university-industry collaboration. There are many mutual benefits to a close relationship between a university and an industrial firm. Firms gain access to not only leading-edge technologies but also highly trained students, professors and university facilities. A firm can gain prestige and acceptance in its stakeholder community through its association with a prestigious university. Universities can also augment their funding sources by working with the industry. Industry-university collaboration takes several forms. The National Science Foundation in the United States identifies 4 interrelated components in the university-industry relationship: research support, cooperative research, knowledge transfer, and technology transfer. Research support involves contribution of both money and equipment to the universities by industry. This type of contribution is valuable as it provides great flexibility to upgrade laboratory and develop program in certain areas of interest. Universities have developed many cooperative research consortiums with industry to pursue research and development in some common areas of interest. Knowledge transfer involves many activities that include both formal and informal means of communication, interaction and personal exchanges at student and faculty levels. Involvement of the firms in the academic programs of university is a major mechanism for knowledge transfer. Studies on regional development and agglomeration of high technology companies in certain areas have heightened the importance of universities as engines of growth. Importance of knowledge and highly skilled labor has influenced the location decision of firms near research universities. Universities are involved in a wide range of international development activities, including collaborative research projects, developing entrepreneurial and employability skills, and the evaluation of non-governmental organization programs. Thus, universities are now increasingly recognized to have a broader role in the economic development and entrepreneurship. Let me summarize the important ideas in this unit. The chapter talks about the growth of universities and its importance in economic development of a country. With the competitiveness of firms in an open and integrated world environment increasingly reliant on technological capability, universities are being asked to take on a growing role in stimulating economic growth. Universities confer a wide range of significant benefits relating to quality of life, healthiness, employment and income, economic productivity, civic participation, and reliance on government support. Developed and developing countries alike have made it a priority to realize the potential of universities to spur growth, a strategy that calls for coordinated policy actions. Universities can contribute through teaching, research and knowledge generation and exchange. There is also a major role for universities in researching and evaluating the impact of development work carried out by a range of organizations. The second module explains the history of universities. The third module is about the different types of universities, which include the private universities, state universities, national universities, deemed universities, research universities, intergovernmental universities, etc. Educational levels were the single biggest driver of economic growth. Universities make major contribution to economic development by supplying college graduates. Higher education institutions have responsibility for equipping individuals with the knowledge and skills required for key positions in government, business, industry and profession. They produce new knowledge through research and can transfer, adapt and disseminate knowledge as well as being important institution of civil society. Many universities in developing countries, however, have struggled to make the case for increased investment in higher education and for their relevance to economic development. Today, universities across the nation are repeatedly challenged to strengthen the nation's hand in the global marketplace. Another important phenomena is the university-industry relationship. There are many mutual benefits to a close relationship between a university and an industrial firm. Firms gain access to not only leading edge technologies but also highly trained students, professors and university facilities. A firm can gain prestige and acceptance in its stakeholder community through its association with a prestigious university. Universities can also augment their funding sources by working with the industry. This type of contribution is valuable as it provides great flexibility to upgrade laboratory and develop programs in certain areas of interest. Universities have developed many cooperative research consortium with industry to pursue research and development in some common areas of interest. Universities are involved in a wide range of international development activities, including collaborative research projects, developing entrepreneurial and employmental skills, the evaluation of non-governmental organization programs. Thus, universities are now increasingly recognized to have a broader role in the economic development and entrepreneurship. Now you can try to answer the questions given here. What are the different types of universities? What is the role of universities in economic development? What is the meaning of university? Where is it derived from? What is your understanding of university-industry collaboration? For reference, you may go through these books listed here. How University Promote Economic Growth? Shahid Yusuf, Karau Nabishma, World Bank publication 2007. The Rise of Universities by Charles Homer Haskins, Transaction Publishers 2001. Thank you for watching this program. We can meet again with another topic. Till then, take care.